Introduced by Triumph in 1959, the original Bonneville model was a performance roadster that for decades went head-to-head with the Harley-Davidson Sportster lineup. Today, both nameplates carry iconic status with the public. The Bonneville line was revived in 2001 and was reintroduced as a standard bike with classic styling and a vertical twin engine intended to evoke the original Bonneville. In 2016, Triumph once again took aim at the Harley-Davidson Sportster with the debut of the Bonneville Bobber, a retro bobber-style cruiser. Now let's take a brief walk around of a 2022 Bonneville Bobber to compare its features to those of the Harley-Davidson Sportster S model. Motorcycle styling makes a statement about the rider, and the statement the Bonneville Bobber makes is undeniably retro. With its classic-styled gas tank, simulated carburetors, air cleaners and oil tank, solo seat, and rear swinging cage resulting in a hardtail look, it's evident that Triumph was going for the character and charm of a classic motorcycle. With its trim fenders and wide front tire, the Sportster S draws inspiration from the bobbed FL models of the 1950s, while the high-mount exhaust and trim tail section are a nod to the powerful heritage of the XR750. Its bold, modern look is exciting and forward-looking, the opposite of retro. Every visual design element of the Sportster S model is an expression of the motorcycle's raw power. Speaking of raw power, let's take a look at these engines. The Bonneville Bobber is powered by a liquid-cooled 1200cc parallel twin producing 77 peak horsepower and 78 foot-pounds of torque. Triumph states this engine has a bobber tune with a torque curve skewed lower in the RPM range than that of its other Bonneville models. But for its displacement, this engine does not make a lot of power. The Sportster S completely dominates in this comparison. At 121 peak horsepower and 94 foot-pounds of torque, the Revolution Max 1250T engine delivers 57% more peak horsepower and 21% more peak torque from about the same displacement. This is power you'll feel every time you twist the throttle due to the Sportster S's variable valve timing. This feature enables a broader torque curve for consistent power at both high and low revs. You'll never be bored on this motorcycle. These two motorcycles have very different frames, and that difference has a direct impact on performance. The Bonneville Bobber carries its powertrain in a traditional steel tube twin cradle frame that matches its old-school styling. The Sportster S takes a different approach. The Revolution Max engine is part of the chassis, eliminating a traditional frame. This results in a very stiff chassis, which enhances handling performance and significantly reduces motorcycle weight. Less weight is like free horsepower, and the Sportster S weighs 51 pounds less than the Bonneville Bobber. More power with less weight gives the Sportster S a performance advantage when it comes to acceleration, braking, and handling, and you'll feel that difference every time you ride. Of course, it's more fun to ride a quick motorcycle with great brakes. Both the Sportster S and the Bonneville Bobber feature premium Brembo brakes. However, the Bonneville has a 2-piston Brembo caliper. The Sportster S provides more braking power, with a new Brembo 4-piston radial monoblock caliper on the front. Once again, that Sportster S power-to-weight ratio comes into play, as the more powerful front brake has to slow 51 pounds less mass, giving the Sportster S the braking advantage over the Bonneville Bobber. And speaking of braking confidence, while both of these motorcycles are equipped with standard ABS, only the Sportster S features corner-enhanced ABS to help maximize braking performance for lean angle and road conditions. Suspension performance is overlooked on many cruiser motorcycles, and Triumph keeps it simple with its Bonneville Bobber. There's a 47mm Showa cartridge fork in the front and a KYB monoshock at the rear, neither of which are adjustable. Harley-Davidson gives the Sportster S premium, fully adjustable Showa suspension front and rear, so you can dial in your ideal ride and handling performance. Remember, nothing is adjustable on the Bonneville Bobber suspension. The Bonneville Bobber comes from the factory with mid-mount controls, and forward controls are an available option. The Sportster S offers the same flexibility, with standard forward controls and an optional mid-mount control kit available through Genuine Motor Parts and Accessories. Both bikes are equipped with a standard solo seat, but Harley-Davidson also offers an accessory passenger pillion and footpeg kit. Triumph doesn't offer a passenger seat for the Bobber. A note on the Bonneville Bobber seat. It may evoke memories of a sprung solo saddle, but it is in fact rigid mounted and offers little cushion and no suspension. Our lives are saturated with technology, and we expect to find ride-enhancing technology on a new bike. Let's see how the Sportster S and Bonneville Bobber stack up in the tech department. The Bonneville Bobber offers rider-selectable road and rain modes, but its rain mode is very basic in that it only reduces throttle response. The bobber is also equipped with switchable traction control. The Sportster S model offers 3 selectable ride modes that combine the optimal balance of engine mapping, throttle response, and intervention of cornering rider safety enhancements by Harley-Davidson. The Sportster S also has 2 custom modes that makes it easy to dial in your performance to your own preferences, making it even easier to get to the fun. Another obvious rider technology interface is the motorcycle instrument display. In keeping with its retro styling, the Bonneville Bobber offers an analog speedometer with an inset multifunction LCD screen displaying a tachometer, fuel gauge, odometer, and range. Once again, functional but basic. The Sportster S keeps the rider aware through a 4-inch TFT display that's bright, colorful, and well organized. Taking it a step further, the Sportster S can connect via Bluetooth through a mobile device to play music files, place and receive phone calls, and display navigation supplied by the Harley-Davidson app. The Bonneville Bobber lacks even basic tech features you'd expect to find on a new bike, such as a USB charging port or self-canceling turn signals. While the Bonneville Bobber certainly has the retro look you may find appealing, the Sportster S offers a modern look with classic HD design cues, plus a more complete package of technology and performance that will ultimately give you an inspired riding experience. Thanks for watching.